Everyone assumes that a new year automatically means new beginnings, fresh hope, and celebration. But for Nicole Kidman, stepping into 2026 wasn't about champagne, countdowns, or loud parties. It was about survival, reflection, and quietly holding on to the people who mattered most. What she shared at the very start of the year looked simple, almost peaceful, yet the meaning behind it carried the weight of one of the most emotionally challenging years of her life. At first glance, it was just an Instagram story. Nicole stood beside her daughters, facing the water as fireworks lit up the sky. No dramatic caption, no emotional confession, just a soft message looking ahead. But fans immediately felt something deeper. The image didn't scream celebration, it whispered resilience. And that's what made people stop scrolling. Because when someone who's lived through heartbreak chooses silence over explanation, it usually means there's a much bigger story underneath. What most people didn't realize is that this quiet New Year moment came after months of emotional strain, private decisions, and life-altering change. Behind the calm photo was a year filled with difficult conversations, long separations, and a reality Nicole never expected to face again. After nearly 2 decades of marriage, her world had shifted in ways no headline could fully capture. And yet, instead of speaking out, she chose something far more powerful: presence. Presence with her children. Presence in the moment. Presence in a life that was still being rebuilt. There's something striking about the way Nicole framed that moment. Shot from behind, faces unseen, the focus wasn't on celebrity or image. It was on togetherness, on standing still while everything else felt uncertain. That single choice made fans ask the question no one could ignore. What happened to bring her here? Because happiness doesn't usually look this quiet unless it's been earned the hard way. Over the past year, rumors swirled, whispers of distance, talk of separate lives, speculation about what went wrong behind closed doors. But Nicole stayed silent, choosing dignity over drama. And that silence only made the curiosity louder. When someone who's always been composed suddenly shares a moment like this, it isn't accidental, it's intentional. A message without words, a signal that something ended, and something new is beginning. This wasn't just a New Year post. It was a line drawn between the past and what comes next. A reminder that strength doesn't always look bold. Sometimes, it looks like standing still with your children, watching fireworks fade, and deciding quietly to move forward. And once you understand what led to that moment, the image changes completely. Because the story behind Nicole Kidman's New Year isn't about celebration at all. It's about what she survived to get there. The New Year often marks a fresh start for many people, but for Nicole Kidman, January 1st, 2026, felt like a quiet yet powerful statement of resilience. The 58-year-old actress shared a simple Instagram story, yet it spoke volumes about the chapter she's stepping into. In the post, Nicole was captured standing alongside her daughters, Sunday, 17, and Faith, 15, as they looked out over a serene body of water. What might seem like a calm, everyday family photo actually carried the weight of a year full of upheaval and personal transformation. Fans instantly noticed the small but meaningful details in the image. All three wore festive New Year's party headbands, and Nicole had added animated fireworks gifts to the post, creating an almost magical atmosphere. It was a moment of celebration, yes, but also a subtle declaration. Despite the chaos and heartbreak that marked 2025, family and connection remain at the center of her life. Social media might just capture a single frame, but for Nicole, it symbolized something far deeper: stability, love, and hope for the future. What's particularly striking is the way Nicole positioned herself with her daughters. The photograph was taken from behind, focusing on the three of them looking outward. By not showing their faces fully, the image emphasizes unity and togetherness while keeping an intimate, private feel. It's as if Nicole wanted to share the essence of the moment, family closeness, without exposing the raw emotions beneath the surface. Fans can't help but sense that this image is not just celebratory, it's reflective, almost meditative, capturing the balance between moving on and holding on to what matters most. And yet, there's an unspoken story behind that serene picture. Many viewers might assume that Nicole is simply celebrating the start of a new year with her children, but insiders reveal that 2025 was anything but ordinary. It was the year of personal loss, emotional struggle, and major life changes. While this Instagram post radiates warmth and calm, the reality is that the actress had been navigating a complicated and highly public divorce from her husband, Keith Urban, as well as the delicate dynamics of co-parenting teenagers amid the media spotlight. That quiet moment by the water, adorned with subtle fireworks, becomes almost symbolic, a visual promise to herself and her children that life can move forward gracefully, even after heartbreak. Ending the section on a hook, but while the image gives off an air of serenity, What happened behind the scenes in Nicole's life over the past year reveals a more complex, emotional journey, one filled with challenges, difficult choices, and moments of personal strength. And what's coming next might surprise even her most devoted fans. While Nicole Kidman's Instagram post painted a picture of calm and togetherness, 2025 was actually a year marked by one of the most significant personal changes in her life: the end of her marriage to Keith Urban. After 19 years together, the couple officially filed for divorce in September 2025, citing irreconcilable differences. On paper, it was a straightforward announcement, a separation between two high-profile individuals with busy lives. But behind the headlines, the story was far more intricate and emotionally charged. Sources confirmed that Nicole requested to be the primary residential parent for their daughters, Sunday and Faith, which underscores just how central her children remain to her decision-making. The move was not about revenge or public image. It was about ensuring that her daughters' lives remained stable and nurturing despite the upheaval surrounding them. Nicole's commitment to family has always been apparent. Even when she was married to her ex-husband Tom Cruise, she carefully balanced raising their two older children, Bella and Connor, with a demanding Hollywood career. Now, with two teenage daughters in the spotlight, her focus is even sharper. What many fans don't realize is that the divorce was not entirely her choice. Insider reports reveal that Nicole had been quietly devastated by the breakup. She had tried to save her marriage and reconcile differences with Keith, even as their lives pulled them in separate directions. Friends were kept largely in the dark. She didn't want to discuss the complexities of her personal life with anyone outside her inner circle. The actress had been holding this secret struggle for months, navigating the emotional terrain of heartbreak while maintaining a composed public image. In many ways, this separation was both a private grief and a public balancing act, a challenge that few could fully appreciate. Adding another layer of tension, Nicole and Keith had been living separate lives long before the divorce became public. Their work commitments and demanding careers kept them apart, creating physical and emotional distance that eventually made reconciliation nearly impossible. Sources suggest that Nicole had faith they could work things out initially, hoping the marriage could survive the strains of fame and scheduling. Yet, as time passed, the distance between them became undeniable. Their worlds, once intertwined, were gradually moving in different directions, a slow drift that many might not have noticed until the divorce was announced. This section of Nicole's life is a reminder that even the most glamorous relationships are not immune to real-life challenges. The headlines often capture only the surface, the official statements, the red carpet appearances, but the private reality is far more nuanced, filled with conflicting emotions, difficult choices, and the weight of responsibility toward children. The divorce wasn't a sudden, dramatic shock. It was the culmination of months, even years, of quiet tension and unspoken struggles. And yet, while 2025 closed with heartbreak, it also set the stage for a new chapter in Nicole's life. She's stepping into 2026 not as someone defined by a failed marriage, but as a mother determined to create stability and love for her daughters, and as a woman ready to reclaim her personal journey. But the real question is, how did she cope with the emotional fallout in the months leading up to this public revelation? That's where the story becomes even more revealing. Behind every public statement and Instagram post, there's a private story, and for Nicole Kidman, the months leading up to her divorce from Keith Urban were filled with quiet, heart-wrenching struggle. While fans saw a composed, elegant actress, insiders reveal a woman grappling with heartbreak, trust issues, and the weight of protecting her family. According to sources, Nicole had been trying desperately to salvage her marriage even as the relationship quietly fell apart. The divorce, while officially filed in September 2025, was not entirely her decision, and the emotional toll was significant. For months, Nicole kept the situation private, confiding in very few people about what was truly happening in her marriage. Friends and colleagues saw glimpses, brief appearances, red carpet photos, or interviews, but the reality was that she had been enduring a deeply personal struggle away from the public eye. She was devastated, an insider revealed. Her trust was lost, and it was too far gone. Nicole had been trying to get them to work on their marriage and did not want this to get out to the public. This carefully maintained privacy highlights just how much Nicole values discretion, even when faced with one of life's most painful transitions. The emotional complexity of this period is further amplified by the role of her children. Nicole shares daughters Sunday and Faith with Keith, and the thought of a fractured family weighed heavily on her. She had always hoped to maintain normalcy for her kids, shielding them from the media frenzy and creating a stable home environment despite the upheaval. The insider continued, She didn't tell many friends what was really going on and was holding this in for months. Imagine balancing personal heartbreak while staying strong for teenagers who are already navigating the challenges of adolescence. It's a delicate balancing act that required immense resilience and emotional fortitude. Meanwhile, the physical and emotional distance between Nicole and Keith added another layer of struggle. They were spending more time apart due to work commitments, each living a life that no longer intersected in the same ways. They were not on the same page, sources said, describing how Nicole had been hoping for reconciliation even as Keith seemed to be moving in a different direction. Rumors of him focusing on individual projects and moving on with his personal life only heightened the sense of isolation she experienced. Yet, even in the face of this emotional turbulence, Nicole's focus remained on protecting her daughters and maintaining as much normalcy as possible. What makes this part of Nicole's journey so compelling is the contrast between her public poise and private vulnerability. Fans see the glamorous, confident actress, but behind closed doors, she was navigating a complex web of emotions, grief, disappointment, and the challenge of redefining her personal life. It's a reminder that even the most seemingly perfect lives are often layered with unseen struggles, and that true resilience is built not in the spotlight, but in the quiet moments of courage. And yet, Nicole's story doesn't end here. Despite the heartbreak and emotional strain, she managed to emerge with a sense of clarity and strength that would guide her into the next chapter of her life. But how did she begin to find peace and focus amid the chaos? The answer lies in her rare public reflections and the small steps she took to reclaim her sense of self, a story that's as inspiring as it is revealing. As Nicole Kidman navigated the emotional turbulence of her separation from Keith Urban, her daily life underwent significant, though subtle, transformations. What fans often see, the glamorous appearances, the poised red carpet photos, tells only part of the story. Behind the scenes, Nicole was adjusting to a life of dual realities, maintaining her career while redefining what family and personal stability meant in this new chapter. Sources indicate that Nicole and Keith had been living largely separate lives even before the divorce was finalized. Work commitments kept them apart for months, a pattern that was as much practical as it was emotional. The couple had last been seen together publicly at the FIFA Club World Cup 2025 game in Nashville, a fleeting appearance that now seems almost symbolic, the final shared public moment before their worlds diverged more distinctly. While Nicole continued to balance a demanding career, Keith appeared focused on his own projects, further highlighting the widening gap between them. Fans following every red carpet event might have sensed something was changing, but few realized just how deep the shifts in their daily lives had become. The transition was not just physical but emotional and logistical. Nicole's world shifted from shared routines and mutual decisions to solo parenting and self-reliance. While she had long navigated the complexities of raising children in a high-profile environment, including her older children, Bella and Connor, from her marriage to Tom Cruise, the dynamics were now different. Every decision, from school arrangements to family traditions, rested squarely on her shoulders. Yet, insiders stress that Nicole approached these changes with remarkable poise and determination. She was not letting the separation define her identity or her children's well-being. Rather, she was actively shaping a new, structured, and nurturing environment. Rumors and speculation also swirled around the couple during this period. Observers noted that Keith appeared to be moving on, pursuing individual endeavors while Nicole remained focused on her daughters and personal growth. Yet sources insist that this was not a story of bitterness or conflict. It was a story of diverging paths, each pursuing separate priorities. They are moving in two different directions, and their worlds are not overlapping as much as they once did, one insider explained. The growing distance may have been inevitable, but Nicole's response was quietly empowering, a commitment to grace, resilience, and the well-being of her family. Despite the changes, Nicole maintained a calm public presence, choosing when and how to share updates with the world. She refrained from oversharing details, instead allowing small, carefully curated moments like her Instagram post with her daughters to communicate her priorities and state of mind. Fans may see her photos and appearances as perfectly curated images, but every detail, from her positioning to the subtle use of gifs and visual symbolism, tells a story of intentionality and quiet strength. And yet, even amid this composed public persona, Nicole's private life remained layered with challenges and emotional adjustments. The transition from shared life to separate realities was not seamless, and her ability to maintain balance emotionally, professionally, and personally speaks volumes about her resilience. But while the public glimpses show grace, the next chapter reveals how she processed these changes internally, finding hope and clarity even in the midst of upheaval. What she shared next about her personal state gave fans a rare and revealing insight into the inner world of one of Hollywood's most enduring stars. After months of keeping her personal life largely private, Nicole Kidman finally offered fans a rare glimpse into her mindset in late 2025. In November, she sat down with Ariana Grande for a conversation in Interview magazine, and what she revealed was both candid and quietly powerful. When asked how she was holding up following the news of her divorce from Keith Urban, Nicole's response was simple yet telling: "I'm hanging in there." 3 words, but they conveyed resilience, honesty, and a subtle acknowledgement of the emotional turbulence she had been navigating for months. This rare update provided more than just a soundbite. It allowed fans to see the human side of a superstar often portrayed as untouchable. Nicole didn't shy away from admitting that life had been challenging. While public appearances and Instagram posts suggested calm and composure, this conversation hinted at the weight she had carried privately: the heartbreak, the disappointment, and the uncertainty of navigating a significant life transition while ensuring her daughters felt secure. Yet, her phrasing, "I'm hanging in there," suggested quiet determination rather than despair, giving viewers a sense of the inner strength she had been cultivating behind the scenes. Sources later confirmed that Nicole was in a good headspace despite the split. While the divorce had been emotionally taxing, she was gradually finding balance and clarity. Friends and insiders noted that her focus remained firmly on her family, particularly her daughters, Sunday and Faith. She approached her role as a mother not merely as a caretaker, but as a steady guide, working to create normalcy, stability, and love amidst upheaval. Even as she processed her own emotions, Nicole prioritized the emotional well-being of her children, understanding that her own strength would ripple through their lives. What makes this period particularly compelling is the contrast between her private reflections and her public persona. While she maintained a calm, composed image on social media and at events, Nicole was quietly processing a complex mix of emotions: sadness, resilience, hope, and determination. The rare update with Ariana Grande allowed fans to see that even a Hollywood icon can experience vulnerability, and that resilience often comes not from grand gestures, but from quiet, consistent strength in everyday life. Additionally, this moment marked a turning point in Nicole's narrative. By speaking publicly, even briefly, about her state of mind, she claimed her story on her own terms. It wasn't about controversy or scandal, it was about honesty, self-reflection, and a commitment to moving forward with dignity. Fans responded instantly, drawn to the vulnerability of a woman who had endured personal loss while remaining composed and focused on her priorities. Her words resonated not only as a reflection of her experience, but as an inspiration for others facing their own life transitions. And yet, while this rare personal update offered insight into her resilience, it also set the stage for another central focus of her life: her daughters. Amid personal trials and public scrutiny, Nicole's attention has remained steadfastly on creating a stable, nurturing environment for her children, a story of love, dedication, and strength that would become the heart of her journey into 2026. But how does a mother balance personal healing with the responsibility of guiding her children through their own challenges? That's the next chapter of Nicole's story. Amid the heartbreak and public attention surrounding her divorce from Keith Urban, Nicole Kidman's unwavering focus on her daughters has been the central pillar of her life. For Nicole, parenting isn't just about day-to-day care, it's about modeling resilience, strength, and love for Sunday, 17, and Faith, 15, while navigating the complexities of teenage life under the gaze of the public eye. Even in the midst of personal turmoil, she has been determined to create an environment where her children feel secure, valued, and supported. Insiders reveal that Nicole has been actively crafting new family traditions to help maintain stability and a sense of normalcy. Small gestures, such as special meals, weekend outings, and shared moments by the water, like the Instagram post that captured fans' attention, are not just casual activities, they are deliberate attempts to foster connection and continuity in a world that has been unpredictable for her children. Every choice she makes seems to reinforce a sense of home, reminding her daughters that love and family remain constants even as life changes around them. Nicole's dedication to her daughters is also reflected in her guidance and emotional support. She has always emphasized the importance of independence, self-confidence, and emotional intelligence, values she is now reinforcing more than ever. Sources note that she communicates openly with her daughters about life changes, offering them a safe space to express feelings, ask questions, and process complex emotions. In this way, Nicole is not just parenting, she is mentoring, modeling how to confront life's challenges with grace and courage. What's striking about this chapter in Nicole's life is the deliberate balance between privacy and visibility. She shields her children from unnecessary media exposure, choosing when and how to share glimpses of their lives with the public. The Instagram post of the New Year's moment, for example, is both intimate and protective, the girl's face is largely unseen, the focus on shared experience rather than spectacle. It's a visual representation of Nicole's parenting philosophy, creating cherished memories while maintaining boundaries and protecting her children's emotional space. Even as she nurtures her daughters, Nicole is aware of the long-term impact these life changes might have on them. Raising teenagers during a divorce is never easy, and doing so under the scrutiny of the world adds another layer of complexity. Yet, sources describe her as composed, deliberate, and committed to being a steady anchor for her children. She's leading by example, showing them that resilience doesn't mean suppressing emotions, it means facing them head-on while continuing to prioritize the people you love most. And perhaps the most inspiring aspect of this story is how Nicole transforms her personal challenges into opportunities for growth and connection. Even after the pain, the uncertainty, and the public spotlight, her daughters remain her focus, her motivation, and her greatest source of joy. For Nicole, 2026 is not just a new year, it's a chance to build a stronger, more loving foundation for her family, a chapter where love triumphs over adversity, and where every quiet, intentional choice echoes with care, strength, and hope. But while Nicole's attention to her daughters forms the heart of her life, what lies ahead for her personal journey and future happiness is a question that continues to intrigue fans and promises an exciting new chapter yet to unfold. As 2025 closed its chapter, Nicole Kidman emerged not as a figure defined by loss, divorce, or heartbreak, but as a woman embracing the power of resilience and hope. The past year had tested her in ways few could fully understand. The dissolution of a long marriage, the emotional weight of protecting her daughters, and the constant glare of public attention. Yet, through it all, Nicole has maintained her poise, grace, and determination, proving that strength often comes not from grand gestures, but from the quiet, deliberate choices we make when life shifts beneath our feet. Nicole's New Year Instagram post, standing with Sunday in faith against the backdrop of a serene body of water, was more than a festive gesture, it was a symbol of reflection and renewal. The fireworks, gifts, and party headbands hint at celebration, yes, but they also carry deeper meaning, an acknowledgement that life goes on, that joy can coexist with struggle, and that family remains a guiding anchor amidst uncertainty. For viewers, it's a reminder that even when life is complicated and unpredictable, moments of connection and love can be both grounding and transformative. The journey to this point was far from simple. Nicole's divorce from Keith Urban, though publicly announced in September 2025, had been preceded by months of quiet struggle, emotional labor, and private heartbreak. Sources revealed the pain of trying to salvage a marriage, the challenge of balancing personal grief with the needs of her daughters, and the intricate navigation of co-parenting while maintaining a sense of stability. In facing these challenges, Nicole has shown a side of herself that few often see, a woman who endures, reflects, and adapts, all while keeping the well-being of her children at the forefront of every decision. Even amid personal upheaval, Nicole has continued to cultivate her own sense of identity. The rare interview with Ariana Grande offered a glimpse of her mindset, honest, resilient, and quietly hopeful. She acknowledged the challenges she faced without dramatizing them, showing fans that true strength lies in accepting vulnerability and moving forward intentionally. This balance between public composure and private processing is part of what makes her story so compelling, a lesson in how to navigate life's toughest moments with dignity and focus. At the heart of this journey are Nicole's daughters. Sunday and Faith are not just passive observers of their mother's resilience, they are participants in it, learning from her example. Nicole's dedication to creating new traditions, maintaining stability, and fostering open communication highlights the depth of her love and the care with which she approaches parenting. It's a story that resonates universally, the challenges of change, the importance of family, and the quiet strength required to rebuild and move forward. As Nicole steps into 2026, the story is far from over. This is a chapter of renewal, opportunity, and personal growth. Fans are left wondering, what new adventures, discoveries, or transformations await her? While the past year has been marked by loss and change, the coming months hold the promise of joy, self-discovery, and continued focus on the people who matter most. For Nicole Kidman, the new year is not just a calendar change, it's a fresh beginning, a chance to redefine life on her own terms, and a testament to the enduring power of love, resilience, and hope. And so, as the fireworks fade and the world moves forward, Nicole's story remains both relatable and inspiring. It's a reminder that even in the midst of public scrutiny and personal trials, We all have the capacity to rebuild, refocus, and embrace the next chapter with courage. For Nicole Kidman, 2026 isn't just another year, it's a new horizon, filled with promise, possibility, and the quiet strength that has carried her through every challenge so far.